Hi there, Martin Priest here from Urban Wildlife Tips. A little scenario for you. You visit your favourite wildlife site and you've got a lot of interesting sightings that you've seen, but then suddenly you see in the local press that your site is earmarked for development. You're up in arms, what are you going to do? But all those sightings that you've seen, you've been recording them, haven't you? And now you've got loads of factual evidence to save the site, haven't you? Because if you haven't, your site is even more vulnerable. Let me explain. So let's take a look at why biological recording is so important. But before I do that, I don't know whether the camera can see this, but can you see this photograph here? There, and there's little old me there with my friend Les Barnett, and I'm opening Bradford Council's first nature reserve. So why am I opening such a nature reserve, the first one in Bradford? I'll explain a little bit later. So let's start talking then about why wildlife records are so important. One is development. We've already spoken about development and how your records can help save a site, right? Now then, hearsay records are of little importance. If you have to speak in front of planning committees or the council, like I have done on numerous occasions, you have got to have factual biological records that you have recorded from your site. Unfortunately, I read so many times in the newspaper, this site should be saved. We've got woodpeckers and we've got bats on here. The first question anybody is going to ask you is, what species of woodpecker are they? What species of bats are they? Are they breeding? Are they regular? Etc, etc, etc. So you need to know that information. Also, your recordings can be used for very useful data to find out trends and things on that line throughout populations of species. Here in Roanoke, right, around in the 70s, around about 75, I used to always record chiffchaff around the 17th, 18th of April. Now it's mid-March, so you can see how this world of ours, a natural world, is changing. So all good data. Also, wildlife recordings can really enhance your site with other conservation groups. All these signs and information boards were put up by Yorkshire Wildlife Trust. Now, why would they spend their money on a site like this? There's only one reason: because of biological records. I was able to prove that there was a lot of species, common species as well as unusual species, and that attracted them into this site. So that's why you need to, and keep banging on about it, record wildlife. So let's move on then. So what species should you be recording? There's one simple answer to all that: everything. Right, now I know what you're going to say, right? I'm not an expert on moths, right? Now my background is that I'm a birder, but I have learnt over the years, I've learnt about moths. 457 species I've recorded in here and in the neighbouring areas. I've learnt about dragonflies, plants, etc, etc. So learn about those. Some species that you're unfamiliar with, like fungi, which is a difficult species, right? I contacted Yorkshire Wildlife Trust. One of their specialists come down, experts came down and surveyed the site. And what did I do then? I recorded and put all my records, all their records, onto my website, so I've got factual information. Right, so in Excel then, what headings do we put down for the recording system? Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave the lovely Roanoke, and we're going to have to go into the house and onto the computer. So follow me. So here we are at Excel. These are a few of my records that I've taken out just to show you the headings, and these are for birds. So I've got the the scientific names here, and I've got the common names here, the site, grid reference, quantity, the date, recorder, status, sex, method, and comment. Right, now the most important ones, and I can't stress these enough, obviously, is the names of the species, right? The site, the grid reference, quantity, date, recorder's name, status. I like to put in myself, right? But you could put that one in as a must. And then a comment. You need a comment to tell you about things like the bullfinch. Male flew into bramble with nesting material, probable breeding. Right, so we're back in Roanoke, away from computer work, which is brilliant. So I promised I would explain to you about why myself and the chairman of the Bradford Urban Wildlife Group actually cut the ribbon to open Bradford Council's first local nature reserve. But first of all, a little bit of brief history about the site. So the site was going to be developed and destroyed, basically. So armed with all my biological records that I'd collated over the years, I contacted 2 local wildlife groups and explained to them, showed them what I'd recorded, and thankfully both of them came on board. The local community also got involved and did various events and things on that line, which also was very important. And what I did as well, I conducted guided wildlife walks for councillors and planning officers, and I took them down here and showed them the biodiversity that was here. But obviously it was all backed up by factual information that I'd already gained. And from all that, eventually a nature reserve was born. In my opinion, therefore, I don't think without my biological records, right, it would never have been designated a local nature reserve. Because my wildlife records had substance, and I managed to change minds and attitudes relating to biodiversity and also conservation of an urban site like this one. Right, so we're back here now at the actual gate, the actual official gate that I opened all those years ago. Right, so you can now see the importance of keeping wildlife records. Just think, no matter whether it's a forest or a little pond that you've got, just think that your wildlife recordings could possibly influence that site to become a nature reserve. I'll leave you with that thought. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.